What if the child who was treated as the problem was actually the only one who saw the truth? You're 6 years old. Dinner table. Silence, so thick you can taste it. No one hits you. No one screams. But you feel it. That invisible wall between you and everyone else. And somewhere in your small body, a question takes root. What's wrong with me? Here's what no one told you. You learned to read rooms before you could read books. You noticed micro-expressions other kids missed. You felt tension before it arrived. You became fluent in the language of conditional tolerance. You were blamed first, believed last, held to standards your siblings never faced. They called you sensitive, difficult, too much. But that wasn't the truth. The truth. You were the family's designated container, the one chosen to carry everything they refused to face in themselves. This wasn't about you. It was never about you. But here's what makes this devastating. You didn't know that then. So you spent years believing their projection was your identity. And that changes everything about who you became. Let's go back to where this started. You're small, maybe 4, maybe 7. You're watching your parents' face for clues. You're searching for warmth that keeps going to someone else. The softer voice, the longer hug, the benefit of the doubt you never received. Your nervous system is taking notes. Psychologists call this scapegoating, when one child becomes the family's emotional dumping ground. Dr. John S. Webb's research on childhood emotional neglect reveals something crucial. Children don't need to be actively abused to be deeply wounded. Sometimes, what's missing breaks you more than what's present. The warmth never offered. The delight never shown. The unconditional love that went to everyone except you. Your young brain ran a calculation. I am not safe being myself. And here's what most people miss. This wasn't weakness. This wasn't you being broken. This was a child's genius. PhD-level threat assessment with kindergarten resources. You couldn't change them, so you changed yourself. Fast forward, you're an adult now, but that survival code still running. In relationships, you choose people who confirm your unworthiness. You stay too long with those who treat you as optional. When someone genuinely loves you, you wait for them to discover what your family already knew. In your career, you overwork to prove value. Accept less than you deserve. Apologize for having ambitions. In your body, tension lives in your shoulders like a second skeleton. Your nervous system still scans every room for rejection. In your inner world, a voice whispers, you're simultaneously too much and not enough. Success feels like fraud. Failure feels like home. And here's the exhausting part. You manage all of this while appearing functional, successful, even. The gap between how you look and how you feel, that's not fakeness. That's survival architecture running in real time. What once protected you has become your prison. Let that land for a moment. Here's what's actually happening in your brain. When a child consistently receives signals of being unwanted, the nervous system encodes this as survival data. Your amygdala, the brain's alarm system, became hyperactive. Your prefrontal cortex learned to constantly monitor, adjust, shrink. Dr. Bessel van der Kolk's research shows this creates a loop. Trigger. You sense possible rejection. Response. You shrink, perform, appease, relief. Temporary safety cost. Your authentic self disappears. Repeat. For decades, this isn't character flaw. This is neurobiology. Your brain built something called a negative internal working model. A blueprint that says I am inherently flawed. Love must be earned. Rejection is inevitable. The same system that kept you safe as a child is now keeping you small as an adult. And here's the part that might hurt. You've been trying to solve a body problem with a mind solution. You've been thinking your way through something that lives in your nervous system. Let's pause and honor what this cost you. Not to create shame, but to acknowledge the weight you've carried alone. You lost the experience of being wanted without conditions. You lost the foundation of inherent worthiness that other children absorbed like oxygen. You've probably stayed silent when you should have spoken, left when you should have demanded better, settled for crumbs because crumbs felt like feasts, apologized for occupying rooms you had every right to enter. You became an expert at disappearing, a master of making yourself small enough to be tolerated. And perhaps the deepest wound, you learned to hate yourself before anyone taught you self-love was possible. I want to pause here. What you've carried is heavy. What you've survived is real. What you've lost deserves mourning. You deserved better. That grief is sacred. And you have every right to feel it. But here's what they never understood about you. The same sensitivity that made you a target. It made you perceptive, empathetic, capable of emotional depths they'll never reach. Your hypervigilance became emotional intelligence. Your outsider status became independent thinking. Your survival became strength they couldn't break. You're not the broken one. You were the one who saw through the dysfunction, and that's exactly why you were rejected. Your existence exposed what they refused to face. The hated child is often the healthiest one in a sick system. Read that again if you need to. The goal now isn't to delete these protective parts of you. It's to update them. Imagine telling that survival system, "Thank you for keeping me safe. I'm grown now. We can rest. We can be seen. We can take up space without earning it first." This isn't about fixing what's broken. It's about freeing what was always whole. Healing this isn't about forcing forgiveness before you're ready, pretending the past didn't happen, positive thinking your way out of pain. It's about separating their limitations from your identity, learning that their inability to love you was never evidence of your unlovability, reparenting yourself with tenderness you deserved all along. This might look like noticing when you shrink and choosing to stay full size, catching the old narrative and asking, is this true or is this trauma? Building chosen family who sees you clearly and loves what they see. Healing isn't linear. Some days you'll feel free. Some days old patterns will scream. Both are part of the process. The goal isn't perfection. It's presence. So here's your permission slip. You're allowed to grieve the childhood you didn't get. You're allowed to be angry that anger is sacred. You're allowed to stop performing for people who never clapped. You're allowed to take up space without apology. You're allowed to be loved easily, freely, completely. You're allowed to outgrow the role they assigned you. You're allowed to disappoint people who benefited from your smallness. You're allowed to be a work in progress and still be worthy of love. Screenshot this. Save it. Return to it. Remember that 6-year-old at the dinner table. The one who wondered what was wrong with them. They got you here. They survived. They did their job. Now it's time for a new chapter. You're not broken. You never were. You were just the one who carried what they refused to hold. There was never anything wrong with you. There never was. I see you, and I hope now, finally, you can see yourself too.